Tail of the tape on this one is brought to you by VLM. It's a boxing fight, and it will see these two, Sam Brooks and Leon Staddon, in the super lightweight division face off. Sam Brooks, a little bit older, Dean, but is going to come in with a height and a reach disadvantage. The talk of the locker room is that this is a clash of styles. Leon Staddon a little bit more unorthodox, and Sam Brooks a little bit more of a conventional boxer with very organized offense and defense.
Sam Brooks is very, very tight, likes to move the head, uses the parry as well. Like you said, very, very old school. Now the question is, will the new school be able to catch up with the old school? We'll find out.
Staddon spoke to him during fight week and was very coy about his game plan. He wasn't keen to say much other than Wasmuffen is the greatest, kindest, coolest crew in the area. We are a lovely bunch, he said, but I'm promising something spectacular here in Supreme Championships. Sam Brooks actually began with karate at age 5, so a very experienced martial artist, but tonight boxing is the rule set. Nice punch to the body there by Brooks. Just a totally different approach with the guard already being shown.
Brooks very technical with the jab, likes to move the head very well. He'll duck off to the side and then use the counter shots. And again, his footwork as always does a great job of maneuvering himself around the cage. He cuts off his opponent with lateral movement. He doesn't follow them. But again, you see Staddon with a crazy footwork. He darts in and out of range, precarious angles, crazy shots, and insane head work. He often ducks under punches and just eludes out of range.
Yeah, it's nice to see Brooks actually moving the head in and off combinations, because you got to be careful when the guy's light on the toes like that and has reach like Staddon. A lot of switch hitting so far being shown from both fighters.
That's the thing as well. Has Brooks had somebody in his camp with this sort of style to mimic it in sparring? You know, the different angles that people throw, the different footwork, the different positions that Staddon's going to present in this fight. Has Brooks done his homework and made sure he's fully prepared for this fight?
It's nice to see Brooks changing the angles on things quite a bit. Good shoulder rolling, just ducking his head, loading up shots. Again, you know, he went from southpaw, or rather from orthodox to southpaw there. Just very intelligent movement, I feel like. When you are down by 4 inches on reach, you've got to think about how you're going to close the distance, and I like the creativity so far from Sam Brooks.
He's got to make Staddon miss. He's got to parry and then counter immediately with that right hand. He's got to punch his way in and keep that head moving as well to make it a very difficult target for Staddon to target.
There you go. 2 minutes are history between Staddon and Brooks. Interesting data points so far. Brooks felt like timing and range and technique were going to be the difference. Looking at the numbers, you might have said Leon Staddon would have that natural advantage, but I think 1 round to the good for Sam Brooks.
Brooks is definitely using this round as the filling out process. He pulled the jab out, he even went to the body as well with the jab, which I like, because it's going to distract Staddon and pull the hands down. Staddon now has to start to put his foot into second gear, dip that clutch and start to look for the combinations and try and put his hands on Brooks and then use that footwork to move out of danger.
Andy Manzolo and the Predators corner here with a nice little few words of encouragement for Samuel Brooks. Interestingly, Sam Brooks said, look, this fight's about having something to do on the weekend. Again, you know, it was pretty cool to hear the kind of jovial attitude that both Leon and Sam brought to this fight. So, yeah, it's great. It's great to see. Now, if you're Leon Staddon, how do you make a guy like Sam Brooks, how do you track and find headspace when he's giving you all those different looks, especially timing his head movement in and out of combinations like that?
Well, you've got to look to see where the head goes when he slips off to the left and right, when he rolls, when he ducks, and then look to target that position with your footwork. So we largely like to see from Staddon to pour out with the jab, to move the head and then try and target where the head is with the rear power hand. And you see here Staddon often switches stances. He's finding a home for that left hook. He can use that rear uppercut to come through the guard of Brooks as well.
So if you are Staddon, is the key actually throwing the jab and then lining up something to find where he's going to move his head after that?
Yeah, he's got to promote a response from Brooks and then see where the target is. You know, if Brooks likes to slip to the left, that's where the target's going to be. If he likes to duck, you know, you're going to channel that power hand a little bit lower to try and meet the target.
So Staddon pawing with the left. Brooks again just really dictating the pace here. Nice right hand there from Staddon and an uppercut to a left hook, but Brooks just rolling with the connections here. A better round for Leon Staddon so far.
Nice jab from Staddon. Oh, beautiful head work in a circle. But see, they jumped straight out of range. He had some beautiful footwork where he actually got an angle on Brooks. But he didn't fire because he was too far away. So that's something he's going to have to try and consolidate. Get a nice bit of closure when he circles off that center line.
Brooks again continuing to work with momentum here. keeping a strong pace against Leon Staddon. Staddon, the 24-year-old, fighting out of Bournemouth as well. So a hometown crowd here tonight was really motivated about learning new techniques. He said, look, I love getting into the gym every single day. Works as a plaster, loves coming in and growing and maturing and developing in the sport. Another lesson, another experience. Well, he certainly got his work cut out for him. And again, it's like we said during the walk, this fight was always going to be about two different styles. Look at that. Staddon drops the hands, backs off. Brooks comes in. Jab to the body from Brooks. That's 2 in the books, team.
Interesting to see how Staddon's now consolidating that power shot. He found a home ever so slightly with that right hand as Brooks walked forward. Now Brooks is kind of getting a little bit frustrated with the bravado of the footwork, and he charged forward to get into range and walked onto that shot. So Brooks has got to start to think about the techniques of boxing now. He's got to make Staddon miss and try and target where he's going to go, which is very difficult given that Staddon's footwork is so out there and crazy and hard to kind of preempt where he's going to be. Well,
again, a clash of styles. May see some different formulas here in the third round. I felt like, and again, having spoken to Leon, I didn't get the chance to catch up with Sam Brooks, but he was actually talking about in this fight that he predicted the finish would open up kind of from round 2 onwards. He was going to look and see what kind of stuff Sam was going to try to do, and then actually go out there and then find that opening and capitalize on it. But it's all to play for here. Third and final round. Great to have you with us along for the ride here at Supreme Championships. From the O2 in Bournemouth, Andrew Lawrence says, let's go. That's the final 2 minutes of action here, potentially.
Brooks has stepped on the gas, charging forward as he eats the left hand. I like this aggression from Brooks. They've both gone back to the corner, and I imagine their corners have said, put your foot on the gas. You've got to try and make sure you win this round. It could come down to this round to decide the winner of the fight. Nice uppercut there from Staddon.
Staddon's going for it here. Brooks connects. Good timing here and head movement from Brooks. Both guys really leaving nothing on the table here. Like you said, Dean, it's octane on the fire. Nice jab from Brooks. Brooks going for the right hand.
Brooks set it up beautifully with that jab here. Now he's got that head work going, but he's got to put some punches on this head work. If he's going to slip, he's got to charge that relevant side. If he slips to the right, he's got to charge the right hand. You see, he gets a little bit frustrated with the footwork. He's got to start thinking about lateral movement, try and cut the footwork off and punch his way in. Also, he can start to use hooks as well. We see Staddon, he likes to circle round to his left side often. So if Brooks can time that overhand right or the right hook, he's going to have some success there.
Good dig to the body there. Brooks just really trying to put the pedal to the metal. Staddon backing off. Staddon probing with the left hand. Brooks charges in off a 1-2. It's good circular movement from Staddon, but a couple of times he's running to those hooks. And I feel like the hands kind of being down, or even indeed the guard being a little bit far out, the kind of, traditional hand position of a boxer might be helpful because Brooks has tagged him a couple of times circling.
That's the style of Staddon, though. He does this in the gym, he does it in training, he's done it all of his striking career. The elusive footwork, the hands are down. It'd be very difficult for him to pull these hands up tight. He's just not used to it. So he's sticking to what he's good at. But close range, I like the way Staddon keeps the hands close. He understands there's power here from Brooks close range. Says to me that Staddon wants to work at that long range. You can see there he's loading up that left hook. Nice jab from Staddon as well as Brooks looks to away for a way in. But again, the footwork from Staddon just been a bit more elusive, making it difficult for Brooks to target correctly.
And that's it. That's it. We go the distance here. Brooks putting in work there towards the end. Staddon nods. Both guys really coming to do the battle here tonight. Dean, any predictions? That was an interesting fight. I feel like Staddon made some good adjustments in the second, but potentially Brooks took over in the third. A great fight from both guys, and it was that clash of styles by the end of the full 3 rounds.
Yeah, Brooks was very clean. For me, very clean. He did a good job of controlling the cage with his footwork. He moved laterally. He landed some beautiful jabs, nice jabs to the body as well. There was a few right hands in there that connected. And again, the elusive style of Staddon making it difficult to kind of pinpoint, but I'd probably give the nod here to Brooks, but the judges have the consolidation of their scores here.
And the numbers coming in here for the verdict. And it will be in favor of your winner by unanimous decision. Wow, Dean, they do see it unanimously, and it will be in favor of Sam Brooks, winning at super lightweight here at the O2. Supreme Championships. Sam Brooks victorious here tonight.